Okay, so hey again, this is Cynthia. I'm Cynthia McClary. Listen, I might I might be introducing myself all the time now at the beginning of the video, but I'm so grateful that you all are watching, checking out the video with me. And so today, and also if you listen to the previous video, listen, my apologies about the audio. Um, but anyway, thank you for coming back to watch this one. So today we're just going to continue with what we were talking about earlier, and hopefully, because you never know, you never know. Um, so I actually just want to continue talking in the vein of identity and why identity is so important. Why knowing who you are is so important. I think that is knowing who you are is probably the most important thing that um, that like it's the gem of your life. It's the gem of your life upon which everything else actually sits. And now if you were to break down your life into like seven pieces, and I'm sure some of you all have already heard this, like the seven pieces or the seven mountains or things like that. So if we divide our life equally into seven pieces, we would have our spiritual life, we would have our physical life, we would have our emotional life, our mental life, our relational life, our vocational life, as well as our financial life. And believe it or not, every single part of that, every single piece of our life hinges on, rests upon, sits on us knowing who we are. That is how important knowing who you are is. When you don't know who you are, um, no, you lose money. That's connected to finances. Okay. Yep, when you don't know who you are, you'll lose money. And if you're like me, I don't like losing money. Nope. I don't like losing money. No. So that's a benefit of knowing who you are. If you don't know who you are, you'll make the wrong decision in relationships. Ooh wee. And come on now, your financial life and your social life. That's a whole lot of life happening just in those two spheres. Okay? Now, if you don't know who you are, because it touches on, there is not a part of your life. When you look at those seven pieces, there is not a part of your life that your identity does not directly impact. And here's the thing about it, right? Those pieces of your life, those parts of your life that make up the whole you, they're going to either be good because you know who you are, or they're not going to be good because you don't know who you are. It's important to know who you are. Even your spiritual life hinges on, and it's either going to grow or fall in the bucket, or it's just going to flatline because either you know who you are or you don't know who you are. And we already discussed it. You cannot know who you are if you don't know whose you are. So because your identity comes from who? Comes from the manufacturer. It comes from the who, God, that made you, that created you. So you have not knowing who you are or knowing who you are, making decisions in your life. You know how a lot of times, we think we're doing stuff of our own accord, of our own will. We're doing it because we're free to do whatever we want to do. But here's the real truth, baby girl. The real truth is Your identity is making a whole lot of decisions for you that you don't even realize your identity is making for you. You know that relationship you're in? And check this out, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's your marriage, even those social relationships you're in. Them girlfriends that really ain't friending, but you stay in the clique, you stay in the circle. You know why you do that? You do that because you don't know who you are. Because if you knew who you were, ooh, then them girlfriends who ain't friending, this is how you would be looking. That's how you would be looking at them. So your relationships. And now, if you think about every single relationship that you're a part of, that you have, that's your relationship at work, your relationship in church, your relationship in the community, your relationship in the nation, your relationship in the world, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with your children, your relationship with your siblings, your relationship with your parents. Do you know how many relationships you're actually a part of? Your relationship with your banker, I'm about to say your bankerer, but your relationship with your banker, your your relation, every there is not a relationship that you have or that you could ever have that is not impacted for good or for bad by identity. Well, Cindy, how does that impact my finances? Okay, let me tell you how it impacts your finances. Okay, so a financial term that we all know is identity theft, right? hmm You know how people, just be doing some stupid stuff, messing up other people's stuff. Okay, well, check this out, right? There's a reason why, and I'm going to bring this back to identity, but there's a reason why identity theft is so prevalent. And now, when I say identity theft, I'm not just talking about um, the financial portion of identity theft, but yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be talking about. So I'm going to bring it back and talk about the financial portion of identity theft. Okay, so with identity theft, somebody says, hey, I'm that person. That person is me or whatever. So, that false identity and all that kind of stuff. Well, let me tell you how not knowing who you are contributes to your life in the same way as if someone stole your identity. Because when you don't know who you are, one of the things that you don't know is you don't know how much you're worth. And when you don't know how much you're worth, guess what you'll end up doing? You'll end up settling. You'll end up settling for positions, for jobs, for anything that has to do with money. And here's another way that it impacts you. So when you don't know who you are, so all of God has given each and every one of us, you included. He's given each and every one of us gifts, talents, passions, pains, stuff. And now Deuteronomy, I believe it's 8:18 says, I give you the power to obtain wealth. I have given you something that's going to be prosperous in your life, that's going to be beneficial to your life. So literally God has said that I'm giving you something. There is something that I have given you connected with your identity that's going to help you make it through these streets of finances. That's going to help you maneuver and maneuver in a good way. And then now you think about some other scriptures that come to mind. And those scriptures are, you shall be the lender, not the borrower, but you're the lender, not the borrower. You're above only, not beneath. You're the head and not the tail. Sometimes the reason why we're in positions of what feels like beneath, what feels like the bottom, and we're in the position of the borrower instead of the lender is because we don't know who we are. Now, back to Deuteronomy 8:18. Now, he's given us the power to obtain wealth, the power to create wealth. Okay, so just in case you're not aware of it, you do know that you also are a creator, right? So that means if there is something that you're in lack of or something that you're in need of, and, hold on, let me stop because I can't just assume stuff. Okay, by virtue of the fact that God is your daddy and he is a creator, do you know what that makes you? That makes you Little Creator Junior. Yep, Little Creator Junior. That's your new name. Little Creator Junior. That's who you are. You're a creator too. God says, I've given you the power to create wealth, to obtain wealth, to get wealth. Some of the ways that that power is expressed and is explored is in the gifts, the talents, the pains, and the passions, and things like that. That he has housed within us. But do you know what we do when we don't know who we are? You see my hands, right? We sit on them. Meaning we sit on that gift, we sit on that thing that God said, girl, I gave you that so that you can pay your bills. I gave you that so you can get the car that you want. I gave you that so you can send your kids to the school that you want them to, not to the school that somebody told you got to send them to. Look, I gave you that so you can have the things that you actually want. Not just the stuff you need, but the things that you want. But when you don't know who you are, and now these things were given, they were given so that they would benefit others, but also they were given for you to create wealth. But when you don't know, if you're not creating wealth, well, if you don't know who you are, you're not creating wealth. And so that means that you're missing out on money that God intended to be in your pocket. God did not intend it. God did not intend for us to be broke, busted, nor disgusted. No, because God gave us things. He gave each of us something. Some people have multiple stuff. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe that there's any person in this world who only has one thing. Mm-mm. God said, I'm giving you everything that I got. Everything that I got. And now if you're real honest with yourself, if you're like if and this is what we have to be. This is what we have to be or how we have to be. We have to be real honest and we have to take inventory of, okay, so this is where I am. Why am I here? Okay? And a lot of times we are where we are because we don't know who we are. And so we just accept things. And and one of the things that we do when we don't know who we are is we sit right in our comfort zone. We sit in our comfort zone and we become so comfortable in our comfort zone. And now even if in your comfort zone you're making money, you know, you're living, you're surviving, you're thriving. But even in your comfort zone, if you're making money, remember, oh, I don't know. I think I said this on the previous video about what I reposted from someone that posted what Miles Monroe said, which is, let me pull it back up because Your girl done forgot again, but let me post it back up and remind myself of what I posted because I thought it was so good. When I saw it, matter of fact, I was on the phone with my sister and I was like, "Oh, girl, oh no, 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 that was a different post." But anyway, this is what I posted, and this applies to what I'm saying right now. So Miles Monroe said, "The greatest failure in life is being successful in the wrong assignment." So sometimes we can stay in our comfort zone, be in our comfort zone, make money, be successful in that thing, and not be doing the thing that we're really supposed to be doing. Now, if you're doing the thing that you're really supposed to be doing, how can you not think that God is going to slap his blessing on it and multiply it and press it down again and multiply it and press it down again and multiply it? So when you don't know who you are and you're just out here in these people's streets doing whatever it is that come to your mind or whatever somebody else has told you to do. If that's how you're living life, you are leaving money on the table. And then, sometimes we wonder, well, why don't I have the money to do this? Or why don't I have the money to do this? Or, or, I want this better life, or I want this, or I want that, whatever it is. If you don't know who you are, I promise you, you're leaving money on the table. So your identity is jacking up your finances. What? Not knowing who you are is jacking up your finances. So, and it's the same way with every other part. You can examine every other part. Go through it yourself and examine every other part, your spiritual life. When you don't know who you are, you will be sitting around here, sitting in your life like you don't have good sense, like the remember that story? I don't know if y'all read it, but when I was little, we read this story about, I think it was the little red hen or something. No, Chicken Little. That was it. It's Chicken Little. And remember, Chicken Little used to always be running around. The sky is falling down. The sky is falling down. Like, ooh, like Chicken Little was whatever. She was always anxious, because she thought the sky was falling down. The sky is falling down. But the sky really wasn't falling down. But Chicken Little was always anxious. Okay? Um, And so in your spiritual life, the way that identity impacts that is when you don't know who you are. Number one, guess what? The first thing, if you don't know who you are, as it relates to your spiritual life, guess what you're not gonna have? You're not gonna have access. We talked about it on the last video just for a little hot second, but we talked about on the last video how relationship gives you access to certain things, right? Okay? So when you don't know who you are, when you don't know that you're victorious, that you're more than a conqueror, when you don't know that you're above only and not beneath, guess what's going to happen? Not just in your everyday life, in the part of life that everybody sees, but even in your spiritual life, your spirit is going to be like crushed. It's going to be crushed like a little bug that someone has stepped on because you don't know who you are. And let me tell you something else, how identity impacts your spiritual life. Okay, so you know how scripture says the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And then these other scriptures that Jesus tell us, hey, check this out. What I don't need you to do is sit up on that couch worrying about something that you don't have no control over. Did you know that's a scripture? Okay, I'm gonna give you another one. I think this is Philippians. I think it's 4, 6, and 7. Lord, please let me be right. But if I'm not right, just Google it. Just Google it. Okay, so scripture says, it's Philippians 4, 6, and 7 says, be not anxious for nothing. Okay, so if we substituted the word anxious, so we got anxiety, we got fearful, we got worry, we got doubt, we got all of those things plus their cousins, their twins, and everybody in between, right? The word of God tells us, don't be anxious for nothing, but in all things, through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, do what? Make your requests make known unto who? Unto God, and the God of peace that surpasses all understanding will do what? Guard your heart. And I also like to say, guide your heart and your mind through who? Christ Jesus. But check this out, right? If you don't know who you are, then you will take stuff that you ain't got no business taking. And you will waddle in stuff like worry and doubt and fear and just all these other stuff that don't even belong to you. You pick up stuff that don't even belong to you. You will invite stuff into your house like worry and doubt and low self-esteem. You partner with those things. You'll partner with stuff that just leeches onto you. It has no purpose except for to suck the life out of you. If you don't know who you are in your spiritual life, you will attach yourself to things that will suck, okay? Suck even the last drop of blood out of you. And do you know why you would allow that? Because you don't know who you are. That's why we allow certain things in our lives, because we don't know who we are. When you know who you are, come on, I like to describe it almost like, okay, so I don't know I know where my keys are at, but I don't have my keys right here. But if you own a home, rent a home, if you in a hotel room, you got a key card, right? At least you got a key card, at least, to get in and out. Well, not to get out, because you don't need a card to get out, but you definitely need it to get back in. And you don't need your key to leave your house, but you should certainly need it to get back in if you lock the doors. So now check this out, right? When we don't know who we are, this is what we do. We open our home, our hotel room, wherever you at, wherever you paying the bill at, don't matter. Airbnb, don't matter. Wherever you paying the bill at. When you don't know who you are, it is the same as someone knocking on your door, knocking on your door that, I don't know if you built it, but knocking on the door that you're paying the rent, the mortgage, the whatever payment for, or to have access to. They're knocking on your door. And not only are they knocking on your door, but the police is with them, right? And their claim is, this is my house. And it's like, dude, my name is on the mortgage, my name is on the lease, my name is on the contract, my name is on, and I got all of the receipts. This is my house. But when you don't know who you are, what you literally do is open that door and say, come on in, come on in. Yeah, this is your house, and I'll be moving my stuff out tomorrow. Now that makes as much sense as nothing, because it don't make sense. But that's what you do when you don't know who you are. You allow stuff, you allow stuff to come in your life, take resident in your house that ain't got no bit, that ain't paying none of the bills. All they doing is laying up in the bed, getting your food out the refrigerator that you worked hard for. And why are they doing all of this? They're doing all of this because since you don't know who you are, they just came in and took over your whole house. And now, guess who's running your house? Those decisions, those things that you let in. And why did you let them in? You let them in because you don't know who you are. You read your name on the lease, but because they came in and say, "This is my house," and it's like, okay, then this your house, this your house. Let me know if I can sleep in the master bedroom that I was sleeping in this whole entire time before you came in here, or do I need to sleep in the basement, or do I need to sleep on the floor? What? How are you going to allow somebody to run your house that ain't paying no bills up in it? Worry ain't paying no bills in your house. Anxiety ain't paying no bills up in your house. Neither is fear, neither is that. They ain't paying no bills in your house. So how are you going to allow them to come in and take over what doesn't even belong to them? The reason we do it is because we don't know who we are. I promise you, knowing who you are, it's going to impact your life for good or bad in every single place you can even think of. And now, that's like just a, a, a fingertip of the spiritual part. And like, you realize, like, we could probably go on for days and days and days just talking about how identity impacts and impairs, because when you don't know who you are, it's going to impair your life, meaning it's going to slow you down from getting to where you need to be. Listen, it's already stealing from you. Not knowing who you are is taking money out your pocket, taking food off your table. You know those shoes that you wanted to buy? Well, guess what? You can't get them because you don't know who you are. But there is hope. And that's the good part of it. So it's not like, well, oh, I don't know who I am, so like I'm just stuck in this place for the rest of my life. The devil is a liar. Okay. Come on. We all know this. Just because you are in the place that you are does not mean that you have to stay there now. You have a choice. In everything you do, you got a choice. And you can stay there if you want to. I don't advise it. I don't recommend it. But if that's what you want to do, all I can do is give you the information. All I can do is give you the information, give you the thing that you need. I can lead you to where you need to go, but I can't make you do it. I can't make you do it. If I can, I can't make you do it. Just like nobody could make me do it, I had to get up, jerk myself up, like jack myself up under the neck, under the collar, you know. But nobody could make me do it, and nobody could do it for me. And I can't make you do it, and I can't do it for you. But until you know who you are, until you know your identity and how important let me tell you, your identity is so important. Sorry, my ears itching. But your identity is so important that everybody wants it. Why do you think we got identity theft? Your identity is so important that everybody wants it. Yeah. And it's not that they really want it so they can be you, but they want it so that they can get the benefits of being you. Child, there are benefits to being you. You you don't even know your own benefits. And why you don't know your benefits? You know why? Because either you don't want to, or you don't know. But now you know that if you're going to get the benefits, you got to go to the manual. And the manual is the Bible. There's no way around it. I don't care how you juck and shive it. No, that's not what they say. They say, I don't care how you shuck and jive it. I don't whatever that thing is they say. I don't care how you twist it, how you turn it, how you flip it over and all that other kind of stuff. You can't get past or you can't know who you are without the manual and without the one who created the manual, without the one who created you. You need it. You need it. You need it. And if you're going to get to where you're supposed to be, I'm not talking about having success doing another man's job. And I'm not talking about entrepreneurship. I'm talking about referring back to that same quote that Miles Monroe wrote. Now see, come on, let me see if I can get it again. That same quote that Miles Monroe wrote, which is, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. So that quote that Miles Monroe um, wrote, which is, the greatest failure in life is being successful in the wrong assignment. And when you don't know your identity, that is where you're going to always end up. You can be a gazillionaire, but if you are a gazillionaire in the wrong assignment, that means that you haven't done your assignment. Have you ever thought about that? If you are successful in the wrong assignment, so you remember when we were in school, right? And the teacher would say, okay, math homework, do pages 34, all the even problems on 34, and then page 35, do all the odd problems. Okay, she gave you an assignment, right? She gave you a specific assignment. But then you go home and you do page 40. And because you're so smart, you do all of the problems, the even and the odd, on page 40, and you turn in page 40. You know what your teacher gonna say? Oh, child, I appreciate this, but you get a 0 on your homework because you did the wrong assignment. Well, check this out. I don't want you, because I don't want me, getting a 0 on the assignment that I've been assigned, and I don't want you getting a 0 on the assignment that you've been assigned because you're doing the wrong assignment. If you want to do the right assignment, you got to pick up the book, open it up, and find out who you are. Y'all, I am Cynthia McClary. I would love it if you all would follow me on Facebook as Cynthia McClary. I'm on Instagram as Cynthia McClary. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Cynthia McClary. And then I also have a podcast, and the podcast is called I'm That Proverbs 31 Girl, and it's available on a lot of outlets. If you go to your outlet that you love and I'm not there, hit your girl up and be like, girl, I need you to come over here because I want to be where you are so that I can help you get to where you need to be. Okay? And I'll do my best to try and get on whatever platform. I'll do my best to get on. I'll do my best. Okay? Because, I'll do my best to get on the platform that you're on, that you're listening at, to make it easy for us to do this thing together, to walk this thing together. Okay? Well, listen, I will see you all later. Enjoy your day, your morning, your week, your month, your year, your decade, your life. Okay?